Welcome to Mr. R's art class. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thumbs, subs, and ring that bell. Okay, so in this video here, I'm going to show you how to make a double value scale. On the right hand side, I have an example of a double value scale where we have these different rectangles here. On the bottom and on the top, we also have these different values here. On the left hand side, I have a value scale down here, but on top, I have a gradient. So with the gradient, you're blending from a darker value to a lighter value, but you don't have these rectangles here to kind of divide each value. Whereas on the right hand side, I have these different rectangles, and on the top, I also have the rectangles. So on the left hand side, again, this is just a single value scale where I have the rectangles on the bottom, and then on the top, we're trying to blend from a darker value to a lighter value. So you would need to know how to make a double value scale if you're making a double value scale for the tint and the shade value scale that we're making with the red and the blue. And then you also need to know how to make a double value scale if we're learning how to do hatching, cross hatching. And then lastly, we also need to be able to make a double value scale if we're doing stippling and scribbling. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a double value scale where you have the rectangles on the bottom and on the top. Okay, so a couple things that we need is a blank sheet of paper to get started and a ruler and pencil. So the first thing you need to do is put your paper in front of you vertically. Right now my paper is in front of me horizontally, so that means my paper is in front of me longest from left to right. We need to make sure that our paper is longest from top to bottom or bottom to top. Then let's go ahead and get our ruler. And you're going to line up the 0 of your ruler on the left-hand side. 0 is that first black line. 0 needs to be lined up with the left-hand side of your paper. Then we need to make a mark at every odd number at 1, 3, 5, and 7. So every odd number, 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then the inch marks are the big marks next to each number. Then we need to slide our ruler to the top. You're not rotating your paper, you're not rotating your ruler, you're just sliding your ruler to the top. Make sure that that first black line, 0, is lined up with the left-hand side, and we're doing the same measurements up here. We're making a mark at every odd number, so 1, 3, 5, and 7. So let's go ahead and connect those marks. Line your ruler up with those marks. Connect your marks slightly, just in case you make a mistake or your pencil goes off the ruler, or your ruler slips. Okay, and then you have this medium-sized band up here, then you have these wider bands here in the middle, and then this smaller band on the bottom. So we're going to rotate our paper so you have this medium-sized band on top, these bigger bands here in the middle, and then the smaller band on the bottom here. You're going to write your name on the top left-hand corner, and then the type of value scale, So whether this is a stippling, scribbling, hatching, cross-hatching. Okay, and then we're going to put our ruler down here at the bottom under this line down here at the bottom. So we're not putting our ruler at the bottom of our paper. We're putting our ruler on top of the paper, but under the line that we have at the bottom of our paper. So we're not putting our ruler at the bottom of our paper. We're putting our ruler on top of the paper, but it's going to be under the line that we have at the bottom of our paper. So 0 is lined up with the left-hand side. Make sure that 0 is lined up with the left-hand side. Then we're going to make a mark at a 1/2 inch. You're going to scoot your 0 over. So 0 is that first black mark. Scoot your 0 over to that mark that we just made. And we're going to make a mark at every inch. We're making a mark at every inch. So the big line next to each number. So each number here. Make a mark. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing to this top line here at the top. We're going to do the same thing up here. Make sure that your 0 is lined up with the left-hand side. You're making a mark at a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is that medium-sized mark there in the middle. Make a mark there. Then you're scooting your 0 over. Scoot your 0 over to the 1/2 inch mark that you made. Now you're making a mark at every inch. Every inch. And the The inch marks are the big marks next to each number. And then at the very end, you should just have a half-inch mark. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect these marks here. We're just going to line up the marks. We're not going to draw a line all the way through. What we're going to do here is we're going to skip this top part. Draw, skip, draw, and skip. Just like that. And we're going to do that all the way through here. So we're going to line up our marks. We're not going to draw a line all the way through. We're going to skip this top part. Draw, skip, draw, and skip. Go all the way through here. So skip, draw, skip, draw, skip. Make sure you draw your lines lightly here in case you make a mistake. So we're skipping. Draw, skip, draw, skip, skip, draw, skip, draw, skip. And there you go. So there you go. This is how you make a double value scale. This is how you make a value scale if you're doing a value scale for hatching, cross hatching, stippling, scribbling, or if you're making a double value scale for the tint and shade value scale. So if you have any questions about how to make a double value scale, go ahead and let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.